Hello, everybody. Welcome to the podcast. My name is Kirk Hardman, Kirk Hardiman. But you already know that. Excuse me. That was a really bad intro. But we're keeping it in because I'm not an editor. I guess the subject today is I got this question from a friend of mine. What is the problem when it comes to junior hockey in Canada? Well, I have there's three to me, there's three rare, like big bad problems when it comes to junior hockey in Canada. One, skill development. It seems like when you go to like let's say the Western Hockey League, it seems like they are a rough and tougher league. They're the only league out of three in the CHL that still has fighting. So it's a rougher, tougher league over in WHL. The QMJHL is very skill based, and I think that's a lot more better hockey to watch. And then we have the OHL, which is a mix of both like a little bit of WHL and more QMJHL. QMJHL and OHL you can't fight anymore, which that's one of the biggest problems in junior hockey is that they are so they're so savaged when it comes to fighting because fighting's coming back. Fighting has been a lot more engaged. You're a lot more engaged in fighting in the NHL now because the refs are shit. That's one of the things. Refs are shit in the NHL. They don't know how to really manage a game. Like they say, oh, we managed the game. No, you don't. Look at frickin' Tampa and Florida every time they play now. It's like 100 to 200 penalty minutes a night. They said that this year, including preseason, over 700 penalty minutes. The players at this point in the NHL are going to start policing themselves, and we're just going to go back to 70s, 80s, 90s hockey at this point because the refs are horrible at their job. Now, taking fighting out of the game of hockey, like when it comes to OHL and QMJHL, because WHL still has fighting. They have a lot of fighting, as you can see, right? Team Canada jersey. Yeah, they have a lot of fighting in WHL still. You're still allowed to fight. But QMJHL, you get suspended if you fight. And in the OHL, it's you can have one fight, but after that, you're getting suspended a game after every fight afterwards. So it seems like they want to take like the roughness out of Canadian hockey. Like when I was watching the World Juniors this year, I noticed that the WHL guys they were hitting the Western League guys. They were hitting, but then you see like the OHL and QMJHL guys, they weren't hitting much. They were looking like William Nylander out there doing flybys constantly and not trying to take the body. I think that's one of the problems in junior hockey is that they're trying to take away the toughness out of junior hockey, and you can't do that. There's a lot of countries that are starting to play tough because of Canadian hockey, and Canadian hockey is like, we want to play like the Swedes or the Finns. You can't play like the Swedes or Finns. They are too skilled. They're trying to be a European country when it comes to hockey. And they're not. We play tough because we've developed our players that way. We have skill. Don't get me wrong, we do have skill. But we've developed our team, we've developed our players to a certain way for a very long time. Now you're wanting to switch them. Like, especially when it comes to, like, so under the age of 16, I think it's a lot of places under the age of 16, you can't hit. No, it's under the age of 12, sorry. It's under the age of 12. You can't hit in hockey. How are you going to compete with other countries? How are you going to compete with the United States? United States, you're allowed to hit still. In junior, bantam, all those weeks. You're allowed to hit. Because they want to develop that. Not in Canada. Canada took away a lot of toughness. Women's hockey is a lot more tougher now in Canada than men's hockey. And it never used to be. Until now. I am glad women's hockey is starting to become a lot tougher, especially in PWHL. International hockey hasn't changed. At IIHF, they don't change. They haven't changed the rules yet. Give them years, because the PWHL is only on season 3. Give them a few years, and then WIHF will go, oh, maybe we should be doing more hitting. And eventually also European nations will start to get better and better and better in women's hockey. Like they'll start to spend money into the women's game in Europe. They do anyways, but we're talking about Canada here. Canada has taken out the roughness that made them a powerhouse in hockey. It's more skill than powerhouse. Second thing, too much politics. Too much politics when it comes to building a team. Because you're not sending your best players. There were a lot of players on that team that were certainly not the best players on that team. And it was because of the politics. And it always will be. And that's one thing they need to change in Canada. Well, actually, it's really everywhere. But the biggest thing in Canada is politics when it comes to junior hockey. To me. And it has to change. Because it's not giving you your best product. Look at the States. You think a lot of that States team was from CHO? No, they're from college. And in college, they develop the players so much better. In college. Because they're men. And that's why a lot of CHL players are going to start going over there. Because they're men. They're facing men. What do you think Gavin McKenna... Well, Gavin McKenna went there because he also signed an NIL deal that was $300,000. Wouldn't you take that as an 18-year-old? Now, that's also a problem, is that there's a lot of... Hockey's becoming a richer game, which doesn't help a lot of people. Like, hockey's becoming a rich man's game. So they need to change that as well. Somehow. They need to lower the price on everything in the world. But it will never happen because of greed. And that's a problem as well when it comes to junior hockey in Canada. there's too much greed. There's too much greed in the world that everyone's going to be too damn expensive to even try and get better at the game. For a lot of families out there that can't afford to put their kids in the hockey, that is a problem. And that's why you're getting less and less people playing hockey because it's too damn expensive. It's too damn expensive in Canada. That's why you have countries who never used to overlap us, like we have freaking United States. United States is a tougher comparator now. Way tougher comparator. But that's because, well, I mean, hockey all around is a more expensive sport. But you can go to college. You can get an NIL deal. And that NIL deal will help pay for a lot of expenses. So that's a problem. It's too expensive. Junior hockey is too expensive in Canada. And it needs to change. Will it ever change? Not right now, because there's too much greed in the damn world. And that's the entire world. There's too much greed. Now, I guess that really was politics, wasn't it? Yeah, it was. The third issue that I have when it comes to junior hockey in Canada is we just had it happen like 2 or 3 years ago. It was actually, no, it was last year where it finally ended. Hockey Canada needs to end as a organization, as a all-round governing body. Hockey Canada needs to be torn down and built back up into the image that it used to be, sending the best players to all competitions. And it's not like that anymore. It's who's got the most money, who's got the most pull, and yeah, I mean, it's that. It's that simple. Who's got the most money and who's got the most pull. That is the biggest problem. Way bigger than the other ones. This is the biggest problem. It's who's got the more pull and who's got more money to send to, yeah, biggest pull, more money to get their kid or get this player or pick this player over this player, even though this player doesn't have enough money, this player has enough money and is not as talented as this player. This player comes in. This player joins Team Canada, and this player is out. Isn't that sad? You got this talented player, but because he's not a fucking Nepo baby, I do swear on this, a fucking Nepo baby. This one is a Nepo baby, but he's not as talented as this one, but this one's got more money. Who do you think they're going to go with? This one. This player right here. Because he's got more money, he's got more pull, when it comes to selecting. When it comes to the selection. And also, I'm going to put a little bit of blame on the coaches too, because the coaches are the ones that will eventually have mostly the last word when it comes to selecting Team Canada. I mean, perfect example was going to be Team Canada the Olympics, because it would have been like a couple of guys from Tampa Bay that should not have been on the Team Canada roster. Thankfully, they're not anymore. Well, Brayden Point is a good player, but there's numerous other players that are way better than freaking Brayden Point. Mark Scheifele, Connor Bedard. Nope. They go with Seth Jarvis. To me, Seth Jarvis is not the right one. He's not the right answer. Mark Scheifele is the right answer. Connor Bedard, next Olympics. I'm okay with him on the next Olympics team. Mark Scheifele is the biggest snub. Love the way he plays. I think he'd be perfect for Team Canada. He's got everything. He's all around everything. But they went with Seth Jarvis. And to me, the reason why they went with Seth Jarvis is because so the GM, he's one of the assistant GMs, said Brayden Point could have played. But he gave his spot to Seth Jarvis. What do you mean, give your spot to Seth Jarvis? Well, not give him to Seth Jarvis, but he said, I'm going to give my spot to someone deserving. And Canada goes, okay, we're going to go with Seth Jarvis. It almost seems like this entire team that Canada had is mostly from the Six Nations. And to me, I go, that Six Nations team barely won against the U.S. Do you really trust that goaltending? Because Jordan Binnington's not the guy. I'm trembling off topic here because we're talking about Team Canada Juniors, yet I'm now talking about the Canadian Olympic team. But that's just how I go because I ramble off sometimes. Jordan Binnington's not your guy. This year he has been awful. You know who's been better? The two other goaltenders that you have in your roster. But you know what you're going to go with? You know what they're going to go with? They're going to go with Jordan Binnington because of the pedigree that he has. And that is my, I guess would be my fourth one. Previous pedigree is a huge problem. We don't care about your previous pedigree. We don't care about the past. We care about the now. What have you done for us now? What have you done for us? Yeah, we get that you won a Stanley Cup in 2019. What have you done since? Not a whole hell of a lot. But because the general manager is the general manager of the St. Louis Blues, he went, I like Jordan Binnington, I'm having him on my team. Isn't that favoritism? He has been horrible this year, and you go with him. And also, during the Six Nations, they said that, so Logan Thompson, who's on the Olympic team, they said the reason why he wasn't, well, this was reported. The reason why Logan Thompson, who's the best goaltender this year, out of all the Canadian goaltenders, they said that the reason why he didn't make the Four Nations team was because he had previous heat with Mr. with the two with Pete DeBoer, who was his former coach his coach in Vegas. He had previous heat with him. Who the fuck cares? And that's politics again happening there. That's annoying. Like, previous history gets you over when it comes to Canada. Who cares about past? Worry about the now. And now tells you in stats Jordan Binnington should not be on Team Canada. So, say as you will. The Olympic team is set now. They play their first game next week. We'll see how it goes. The women's team won their first game today, 4-1. They still got more games to go. Good job, Canada. Good job, women's team. You won. We all know who we know. We all know what the finals is going to be. It's going to be Canada, USA, because it is. The European nations haven't fully developed a team yet, but they will eventually. Anyways, this has been Kirk Hardiman. Like, comment, subscribe, share, all that good stuff. Help me out. Get this thing going. And we'll see you next time when we talk about the Super Bowl, episode 4. Soon, we'll have our first relaxful chat with some guests. Kirk Hardiman signing off, and we'll see you in episode 4.